بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. Welcome to this class where we're going to look into Arabic prepositions bi'idhnillahi al-kareem. And I am your dear brother Mustafa Mahmoud. Do consider subscribing to this channel and do consider joining our mailing list for updates that are coming soon inshallah ta'ala, and our Telegram group where you will receive what's required from these courses lessons that you're receiving in this channel inshallah. Now, we've covered the Arabic noun signs. We've covered also the Arabic verb signs, how you can identify the nouns and the verbs according to grammarians. And especially when it comes to, we're literally extracting all of that from the Al-Ajrumiya text. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look into some things, although in the Ajrumiya text they don't exist, some of them. We're going to look into the prepositions specifically because those are the only three types of words that you'll find in the Arabic language. الكلام ينقسم إلى أو الكلمة تنقسم إلى ثلاثة أقسام. Words in Arabic, there are only three types, and we spoke about this. There's either nouns, or there's either verbs, or there's only prepositions. Because if they are verbal nouns, or they are fixed nouns, or they are certain adjectives, or they might be any other types of words, you notice that they are nouns because they contain the same signs as nouns. And also when it comes to verbs, if you find adverbs and all of those, remember they are all going to be verbs. They're going to fall into that umbrella. The same with prepositions as well. So even if you say that in English we have so many parts when it comes to an English grammar, but that's not the case. The case is, what umbrella does it fall into? Like basically, where does it belong? What's the heading? What's the top? What's the head of the umbrella that literally every other topic falls into it? And you notice that when we look at prepositions, مثلا, look at this. We know that prepositions, مثلا, there's such as min, we have ila, we have an, we have ala, مثلا like this. Now, also we have anna, we have inna, like that. And also we have, let's say, la, okay, we have la, such as that. Now look at this. These prepositions are a certain category. These prepositions are a certain category as well. And this one also is another category. And then you have مثلا قد, okay? قد, like this. Now these prepositions, even if they are categorized, let's write the word here, categorized, you will notice something. All of them, regardless, all of them are prepositions. Regardless of the case, they're all prepositions. So what do you learn? You learn that it doesn't matter what type of preposition it is, or it doesn't matter what type of verb it is, what topic it belongs to, or maybe where can you place it. What matters is it a verb or not? Is it a preposition or not? That's what you need to realize. So for example, if you look at a text like this, look at this text, you'll notice something. We have the following. قد. If you look at our previous class, مثلا, look at this قد. If you look at one of our previous class on verbs, inshallah ta'ala, maybe if you don't find it popping over here, look at the playlist below. You notice in the playlist, we explain this in the verb signs. If you look at the qad, you notice that qad is a verb sign. So you expect that the next word that comes after it is a what? Is a verb. You expect that the next word that comes after it is a verb. Is it a present tense? Is it a past tense? Is it a commanding tense? Is it a future tense? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the word that comes after it should be a verb. Now, how do you know that it's a verb and separate it from a noun? What you do is you look at the word itself. Does it contain any sign that belongs to a noun or a preposition? If it does not, then you realize that it is a verb, and we could assume it is so. If you have not studied the differences of nouns and verbs and everything else that relate to each one of these as topics, which they are subjects of them of their own, you notice that you have to look at the very basic differences for you to identify them, inshallah ta'ala. So look at this text again. قد يريد. Let me wipe this off. قد يريد. Now, you might look at this text as well and you might be thinking, but this doesn't have any diacritic. Like basically, there is no mark on it. When we say diacritic, we refer to as, bear with me, look at this. We refer to as قد يريد الإنسان, like the إصلاح شيء هين okay, فيفسد شيئا كبيرا فماذا يفعل ليعيد ما أفسده تعالى okay نشاهد ماذا فعل جحا عندما احتاج إلى عدة دراهم. Okay, now don't worry about all of the diacritics that you see there, all the harakat that you see there at the moment. Worry on this. Yes, it might seem like, whoa, what's going on over here? But actually what I'm trying to show you as well is the fact that if you look carefully, you'll notice that these marks that you see, they show you the potential of where you can get if you study the Arabic language properly, inshallah ta'ala. They show you the potential of where you can get if you study the Arabic language properly, inshallah ta'ala. And I'm a really huge advocate of not just about Arabic speaking, but actually I'm talking about Arabic reading. That's what's important. Remember, Arabic reading, if you can read and understand this, that's really, really important. Don't forget that, inshallah ta'ala. It really helps you throughout your journey of Arabic. Now let's get back to our prepositions, bi'idhnillahi al-kareem. Now look, when it comes to prepositions, look at min, ila, an, ala. Now, what does a preposition mean in Arabic? You call it as harf, okay? Harf. Now, they say one of the main definitions, it means harfun ja'a, okay? Ja'a li ma'nan, okay? It came for a meaning. This is a word that came for a meaning. What meaning? لغيره. What does لغيره mean? What does لغيره mean? لغيره means it cannot, or instead of saying لغيره, let's wipe this off, erase this, yes. Yeah, rather than saying حرف جاء لمعنى بغيره, it wouldn't be a complete meaning without another word. So let's say the word min, مثلا, min can means of, can means from, okay? It can mean that. Ila means to, مثلا, to somewhere. Maybe you have the word ala. Ala means on. It can be another, maybe at, isn't it? And the fi like this can mean in, can mean at as well. So it depends on the context of how you're using it. That's why you need to know, how do I use it and what does it stand for? That's what you should fight for. How do I use it? What does it stand for? Okay? But when you look at preposition in itself, now let's look at the Quran. What does the Quran provide us? Look at this. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من look at this من see من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. Now min, this one means from. Understood? Remember? Look, min means from. If you look at the whiteboard, you will clearly see min means from. One of the meanings of min. If you come back to the Quran again, you will notice that ila means to. Ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa. So what does this mean? Subhanallah, exalted be the one whom أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى, who took his servant to the night journey ليلا من المسجد, from المسجد الحرام, the haram, إلى المسجد الأقصى, to المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا. Understood? But there's something that I need you to learn. And I'm going to try to make this as short as possible so that you can leave with something to benefit with. Something what I want you to learn is this. If you look at this whiteboard, it's not about the prepositions. It's not about the prepositions. It is knowing where they belong. What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? That's supposed to mean every preposition belongs to a certain category of words. They don't belong to just random category of words. Not every preposition will belong to a noun. Not every preposition will belong to a verb. And not every preposition would only specifically work for just nouns and verbs, because some of them would work for both nouns and verbs depending on the context as well. So that's something which we need to look into for you to distinguish the differences of these prepositions specifically work for nouns, these prepositions specifically work for verbs, and these ones can be used for both nouns and verbs, inshallah ta'ala. So I want you to pay attention with me, bi'idhnillah al-kareem. Now look over here. You have prepositions such as min, ila, an, ala, fi. I would only give you these. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then you have prepositions such as qad, sawfa, an, in, and then you'll have prepositions such as la. Aywa. Now what's the difference between these prepositions? These ones specifically work with nouns. Okay? Meaning to say the word that comes after it is a noun. These ones, verbs only. Verbs only. The words that come after them are verbs. This one can be both verbs and nouns. Bear that in mind, both verbs and nouns. Now, how do you spot them when you read? Let's try find out if we can find some in the Quran, can find some of them in a text, so that you can see how to spot them, inshallah ta'ala. Beginning with the Quran, look, we said that من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. أليس كذلك؟ من دوني وكيلا. See that? في الأرض. Now في is the preposition that you saw on the whiteboard. Look over here. This is fi. Let me wipe this out so you can see properly. أيوة. في. في, as we said up here, means in or at. Now, في الأرض, okay, في الأرض, if you look at the Quran, you notice that Allah is saying what? لَتُفْسِدُنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْن. On the earth. Okay? فِي الْأَرْض, on earth. Now over here, it's supposed to be in earth, isn't it? It's supposed to be in the earth. But actually, that's not the meaning. It's not in earth. But actually, it means what? It means فِي الْأَرْضِ. Now, would it make sense to say that fil ardi intended, it means in the ground, in the earth? Because you're not normally in the earth, are you? You're normally on the earth. You're normally on earth, on top of the earth, isn't it? But it means that they will do it on the ground, like basically touching the ground, the surface. Bear that in mind. That's what it means. So the correct one so Allah wouldn't say that تُفْسِدُنَّ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْن. It means that corruption that they do, it will be deep rooted on earth. It will be deeply rooted on earth. That's what it means. Now if you look at that, the beauty of the Quran, that's one of them. Now if you come to the Arabic text, مثلا like this one, أخذ حماره ليبيعه في السوق. أخذ حماره ليبيعه في السوق, in the market. So you don't go on the market because you're not going to go above the market. You're going in the market. See, in an Arabic text, it's used appropriately as it should because of the context. It's a fil or fisuq. But then when you study further and you get better, you notice what Allah teaches us even for the fisuqi, in the market. I hope you're seeing that. Look, fisuqi, like this. You're seeing that, inshallah ta'ala. In the market. Let me do this again so you can see it properly. أيوة. في السوق. في, this one means in. السوق means market. Okay? في السوق, in the market. Like that. So this one you can't say on the market, you would say in the market, inside the market. Do we find any other one maybe? عن الشراء. Okay, عن الشراء. ولكنهم أحجموا عن الشراء. Against. عن can be against. Can be against. Can be away. Away from. Okay, can be away from, depending on how you're using it. فلنتفق أولا على السعر. على, see, على means on, and سعر means, it means price. We agree on the price. Now I'm not trying to give you the meaning of the text, but actually I'm trying to show you how it is used in a text like this. Let's try see if we can find anything in the Quran as well for those ones. Now look at in. Remember we said in? In, the next word that comes is a verb. In ahsantum. If you are to perfect, ahsantum li anfusikum. You perfected for yourself. Wa in asatum, and if you are to commit corruption, falaha, then it's against your own self again. فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوءوا وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا عسى ربكم أن يرحمكم. Now look at this. أن يرحمكم. We said if you look at the whiteboard clearly, أن is a what? It's a sign for a verb. Basically it's a preposition used for verbs only. Now look at this la. Okay, this la. Can we find anything that literally shows it can be used for both nouns and verbs? Aywa, look. Allah says, وَأَنَّ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Okay? لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. This la, after it follows, is a verb. You can see this, it's a verb. Look carefully. You can see that's a verb. La, and then la yu'minun. It's a verb. That's very simple. However, if we go any further and look for another la that specifically shows you It's not a verb next to it. Look at this one. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ. This is a verb. تَجْعَلْ is a verb. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا. See, تَقْتُلُوا is a verb. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا is a verb. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا. تَقْرَبُوا is a verb. Notice that. All of those are verbs. Let's find one that is not a verb after it. Look at the most common Quran verse that is used all the time, such as La ikraha fid din. There is no compulsion in the religion. Look at that. There is no compulsion in the religion. Look. La ikraha. This ikraha is a noun. This ikraha is a noun. How would you know it's a noun? Then that's when now you need to study the difference. Now look at this. La ikraha fid din. In the religion. Fi and ad-din means religion. So you know the meaning of fi now and the meaning of ad-din. قد تبين الرشد من الغي. من الغي. فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك. قد. Look at this. قد. You see? قد. استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم. Now, those are among the things that I wanted you to look at so that you may realize the differences of how prepositions work, what do they stand for, what type of prepositions do you have, and I've just given you just the tip of the iceberg so you can see the sweetness of it. Something that I want to return you back to, however, is this. I want you to look at this. Look, remember when we did these diacritics here, حركات قد يريد الإنسان. In our next class, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to look at specifically how do we read Arabic without any vowel marking? How do we read Arabic without any harakat? What do we need in order to be able to read without any harakat? In the previous lesson, we looked at how does a student get from zero, from knowing nothing, all the way to become a master in the Arabic language, to that certain level where they can become students of knowledge. But in the next class after this, we're going to look into how do you read without diacritics, and you're going to notice something. Everything that we covered in the previous classes, it literally shows you the importance of all of that put together as a package, and it becomes a huge snowball so that you can be able to understand how to read and build that skill of reading without any harakat, inshaAllah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you goodness and all of us. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. I'll see you in another class.